What's up, everybody? And this is IR Vibes Info Entertainment Reviews channel. Lots of love. This something you didn't know. Here on IR Vibes, don't forget to thumbs up, share, subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and let me know what you think in the comments below. This is one topic you have to sit and listen all the way through. So guess what? Your birth certificate, did you know, is worth millions to billions of dollars. So why are people who are in debt either don't know or not doing this? Learn the facts, you guys. This is the real deal. No joke. So, put it in this perspective. Since the US went bankrupt basically back in 1933, all new money has to be borrowed into existence. So all states started using serial numbered certified certificate warehouse receipts for births, marriages, in order to basically pledge the people as, well, collateral. So against those loans, municipal bonds, basically taken out with the Federal Reserve's bank. You get where I'm coming from? Not yet, you don't. So you guys, the full faith, basically, and credit of the American people today and then, this goes for everybody. It's said to be that basically which backs the nation's debt. That basically simply means that American people's ability to labor, pay back debt, well, in order to catalog its laborers, here's where it gets crazy. The government basically needed an efficient, methodical system, basically, of tracking its property from the beginning until the very end. See, here's the thing. Humans today are basically looked upon merely as resources. You're a resource. I'm a resource. Your family's a resource. Your child's a resource. Every living human being on this planet is a resource for the top government. And also, don't forget that there's also one who owns world government, who owns them. Crazy, ain't it? I know. So why do you think when you basically call to see if a company is hiring, for example, you have to go through the division, which of course you call human resources. The people are resources to the government. Now, why do you think I told you guys in one of my videos, till this day, everybody is a slave when it comes to trying to survive in their daily lives? Get the drift? Their birth certificates, meaning ours, yours, mine, everybody else's, are a security of the New York Stock Exchange. You don't believe me? Go look it up for yourself. Imagine how much money you're worth as collateral. You could buy food. You could go buy a damn car. You could go buy a house. You could be the poorest person right now and use your birth certificate as collateral because they own you, they own me, they own everybody. And this is one that people don't know. This ain't nothing, you guys. We're not even touching nothing yet. If you're not tripped out just yet, well, just wait till what else I have to say. So, since basically our certificates are security for the New York Stock Exchange, think of how much billions and trillions of dollars had flown through since the very beginning of the stock. It doesn't matter if it was back in the 1930s. Till this day, your newborn child, when you go and you get your birth certificate for that newborn child, not, that's the best way to put it. Basically, like the same thing that happened to you when you were born. You were given up to the government in an effect that nobody knows. Not even people today know. There's even some of the smartest people, and they don't know this because nobody ever knew. Just gonna give you guys a minute just to kind of think like, holy crap. You know, hey, how do you think I feel? Why do you think there's the pressure to push one world government? This goes as far back as Rome. I'm not kidding. When you look at all birth certificates in America, look at your birth certificate. It will say at the bottom, this is printed on security paper. Why do they print them on security paper? It's not just for the protection of your identity, to prove who you are, like everybody is stamped like a cattle. When you go look at it, you will always have and you will always see a list of serial numbers. They're red printed serial numbers on the birth certificate. Those numbers on your birth certificate, go look it up, are the stock security exchange number on the World Stock Exchange. That one main section of those numbers, go look it up. You could go and have that looked up. Basically, that's going to tell you, that's just one. And it's going to tell you, here, oh wow, this is how much you're worth. So, you're worth a lot of money. I'm worth a lot of money. We are all worth money. How the hell did that come into an effect? And how the hell is that freaking possible when there ain't no damn money? Or is there? All the way back since the 30s, this has been going on. You guys, governmental assignment of the dollar value that heads of citizens in America. This began July 14th in 1862. This was when President Lincoln was offered a 6% interest bearing bonds to states. freed their slaves on a period basis. You guys, the government only knows that they can extract only they can only extract so much money, you guys. Why do you think everything is so manipulated? This is why I love learning. This is why I pay attention. And this is why I have such an open mind. So, think about the economy. Is the economy really in debt? Is this country really in debt? You tell me, you guys. Now, their idea was basically to bankrupt private owners so that then the banks who are behind the syndicate basically became the owners of each and all of the assets in this country that we live in. It's a real shame. It's a real motive. And damn. Talk about a way how money is made. How somebody could basically claim value, claim ownership of you. So the way how this continued on, basically by encouraging Congress to spend money that it does not have. Congress has actually then have to turn around and then lien on American labor, American private property for collateral. They do this by fraudulent conversions of the birth certificates. Look it up. Doctors who are basically franchisees of the state are obligated, mind you, obligated to sign the Secretary of State. Obligated. They make certified copies. They then forward those birth certificates to the Department of Commerce in Washington, D.C. The Department of Commerce, you guys, does the same thing. They make certified copies. And guess what? They forward them on the International Monetary Fund in Brussels, Belgium. I think this is all BS. Go look it up for yourself. You know, it even gives me the chills. Just knowing the fact. It's like, wow. Now, would I use myself, even in the struggle that many are in, to turn around and not have worries about money? You know what? Shit, no. Excuse my French, you guys, but it's bad enough you're stamped. All of us. So, the center of the hub of the banking syndicate. And of course, loaning all these huge sums to various governments around the world. Now you gotta remember one thing. Why do you think the One World comes into effect? This is where all this gathers. Piece it together. Otherwise, if nobody was able to do a deal with another country, that country to another country, that country to another, that country to us, and etc., you get the drift. Then, you know what? There probably wouldn't be no damn planet right now. We and every nation on throughout wheel and deal. And then the government wills and deals us. This includes Congress of the United States. They basically, you guys, the Congress needed, they needed something for collateral. So, well, guess what they did? When a pretty effed up, I can't say this in any other words, what they use for collateral is citizens. Everybody, every human on this freaking planet. It's not just the United States. The birth certificates get treated as certificates of equity, which mature when you turn 18th on your 18th birthday. Is when you become a beginning part of money. The bank then turns around, they keep track, they use the number that any particular nation has available as collateral, and the international debt as a performance units. The certificates, you guys, in equity basically end up being regarded as performance units on the international debt. The more of those that you have, the more money that you can borrow. The more collateral that I have, me personally, the more money that I can borrow from banks, then, and as well other sources. Why do you think people are in debt? Why do you think people are in such screwed up situations? Because think about it. You're flat ass broke. You ain't got no damn money, but then you need money. So guess what? You hawk your house. You hawk your jewelry. Or maybe you go get a fat loan on your vehicle because you can't pay the damn thing back anyway. Well, because that's all collateral. Yeah, you can use anything as collateral. That's value to get money. So, governments are securing their international debt basically by leaning on the persons and the property of their own citizens. They're doing this on a massive scale, you guys. A humongous scale. And of course, being where they're at, they get away with quite a bit, of course. So, it's technically a fraudulent conversion of the birth certificate. And of course, you never knew from day one, since you signed yourself over, since you were signed over. It's not because you signed a birth certificate for your child for security of identity or showing here, this is who I am, this is me as proof. Wrong. They never told you that they were obtaining a lien on a person, especially starting a third-party debt that you're responsible for. And guess where this goes? That makes it an unconsensual contract by definition. Let's go back. In 1921, the Federal Shepherd Tower Maternity Act created the birth registration, or what we know as the birth certificate. Known as the Maternity Act, and was sold to the American people as a law that would reduce maternal and infant mortality. Quote, to basically protect the health of mothers and infants. And of course, for other purposes. And basically, of those other purposes provided, establishment, federal bureau, designed to basically cooperate with states' agencies and overseeing its operations and expenditures. So basically, what they really did was create a federal birth registry, which currently exists today, creating federal children. Doesn't matter who you are. So government has birth certificates, don't they? I mean, shit. Doesn't matter how high up you are in the ranks. Hey, I'm pretty sure your mama had to sign you over too. You guys, government under the doctrine of parents' prejudice now legislates for American children as if they are owned by the federal government. Think about this through the whole public school system. Think about the enrollment process, the continuing license requirements for most aspects of freaking daily life. The children grow up to be adults, like you, like I, of course, your family. You know where I'm getting the. You guys know where I'm going with this. So, asking permission, or should I say asking for permission from the government, imposing as God. Basically, to do all those things necessary, carry out all daily basic activities, you guys. Now, from the way how this is gonna be put, that this is a free country. So before the 1920, basically before 1921, like I said, this goes even back to the Roman days. The records of birth, names. Now, of course, Romans did not have birth certificates. But this is when all this crap was to come into effect for the future. So, 1921, the records of births, the records for all the names of children were entered into family, what they call Bibles, what I call archives, where the records of marriages, deaths, you name it, debts, all of you who are in massive amount of debt, they have records for that. So they were basically accepted by both the family and the law as official records. And since 1921, birth certificates have been being registered since. It doesn't just make you a United States citizen or proof for your identity. Ha. You guys get this where I'm coming from? What do you think? If this is not a mind blowing topic. So, when it comes to the Federal Reserve, using your birth certificate as collateral for loans, credit, which they call full faith and credit, is the clause of the Constitution of the United States. Also in Article 4, Section 1, requires that foreign judgment to be given such faith and credit as it had by law, or usage of state of its origin. Foreign statutes are to have force and effect to which they are entitled in the home of state. And that a judgment or a record should basically have the same faith, credit, conclusive effect, force in other states as it has by law or by usage in the states whence taken. The state, you guys, claims interest in each and every single child within its jurisdiction. The state, if it deems it necessary, nullify your parental rights and appoint a guardian trustee over your children. Your child is very valuable. A truly valuable asset. We all are. Which, if property, basically, what they like trained well, we could put it that way. Well, why do you think they teach teachers, you guys, to not only teach their students, but to teach the parents their child needs a good education? So that way they could get up and get a good job. It's all nothing but a bunch of BS, you guys. I told you, you're a slave, I'm a slave, everybody's a damn slave. They have been making people slaves for years and no one has ever stopped. Especially the child itself. Here's where it even gets more crazy. When we're born, we're the asset of the trust established by the birth certificate, and the social security number also is the numbering of registration of the trust, basically allowing the asset of the trust to be tracked, plus making whoever gets a birth certificate owned by the state. Everyone who has a birth certificate are considered assets of the bankrupt United States of this downfalling country. And again, all designed by our government and human resources. Why do you think when you call to see if a company is hiring you guys, you have to go through all the division knowing as human resources? I never knew that either. And today, we're defined as human resources believed to be owned by the government. because of our birth certificate and being that we are all worth money. There's so much that I could keep going on and on and on, you guys. I think that pretty much said enough. You want more? Thumbs me up. Shoot me some comments. And we can go further on. This is IR Vibes. Info Entertainment Reviews. Thumbs up, share. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and also check out my latest custom apparel lineup design t-shirts, hoodies, handbags, and much more. And also the favorite Love Lift Smile. So, you're struggling. I bet you $100 million sounds pretty darn nice, doesn't it? Or maybe $1.2 billion might sound nice. Imagine what you could do with all that money. So, would you give yourself up for $100 million? Because I don't think I would. Hit me up in those comments below. I'm out. Until next time.